Hey guys, what is up? Oh wait. Hey guys, it's Maya and welcome to my crib. Yes. I've been wanting to make more videos, like less like just me singing and more of like me talking about stuff. So I had an idea. So the idea was, let's talk about Tourette's. So basically, if y'all don't already know, I have Tourette syndrome. If you don't know what that is, that's what Google is for, but also it's more complicated sometimes than what Google says, but Google will give you a pretty okay idea. So, oh my eye. So recently I came to college at Berkeley College of Music. There she is. And I had a really rough transition, not because of anything except for I missed home, and I had too much free time and I kind of aimless, but then I got a job, I have met awesome people, everything's been going really well for the past like week and a half, so we're doing great. But anyway, since I got here, there's been a lot of new people who don't know me, aren't used to, you know, my tics, and like don't really understand like what's going on. And especially since I started my new job, it's been kind of like I'm working shifts, just me and this other person, because I work at the media lab, so it's like we'll sit behind the desk and wait for people to come, and when people come it's fun, like whatever. But there's a lot of people around and stuff, and my tics have been getting a lot worse recently. Just, I don't really know why. I think it might be just the transition to college, but also just sometimes that happens. But like they fluctuate. Yes, don't you love my yellow pants? I do too. But they fluctuate, and like they'll get worse or they'll get better, or they'll be non-existent or they'll be really bad. And it's just kind of been something I had to deal with. But a couple of people said some stuff, and I just wanted to like talk about it, because I think that's the best thing you can do, is just kind of talk about it. So that's what I'm gonna do today. When you meet someone that has Tourette syndrome, it's like there's a lot of different things you can say, and some people have been awesome and been like cool with it. Like a lot of the kids on my floor were just like, I was just like taking a little and I was like, yeah, by the way, I have TS, and they're like, okay, cool. And that was it. Like that's how it should be. But there were some people that made some comments, and they were with the best intention, some of them, but I just wanted, like, no, all of them, but one of them, I guess, were with the best, they were all with the best intention. No one of the people that I've met here have been out to offend me or make a mean comment, but it's kind of like, it's kind of like, you don't know, like you don't have this, you don't know how it feels, so I wanted to kind of talk about it. Sorry. So the first thing that happened was I was just sitting out in the lounge. I had a couple tics, probably that loud one, and one of the girls on my floor came up to me and she was like, hey Maya, like every time you're there, like I know it. And I'm like, what? She's like, every time you're there, like I know that you're there. I'm like, what are you talking about? She's like, I'm like, oh, I know what you're talking about. And I said, like, because of my tics? And she said, yeah, like I always know you're there. And I just want to let you guys know, don't say that to someone with Tourette's. It's just this idea of like, I can't speak for everyone, but personally it's like something I'm self-conscious of, but it's also like when you talk about my tics, like every time I talk about Tourette's like this, it gets worse because you're thinking about it, and it's hard to explain the feeling, but like y'all have Tourette's, like you know the feeling of like, even like when we get together, or like when I went to my scholarship event that I got from the New Jersey Center for TS, like I just couldn't stop taking, just because like I was there for a Tourette's event. So like when someone says something like that, not only does it make you think about it more, it kind of makes you self-conscious. It's like, oh, so like part of me is like, oh, so this is bothering you or annoying you, but it's also like, okay, so you're noticing it a lot, so my mind is like, but poo, like you must be thinking about it every time I do it, and like it must be annoying you. Like that's kind of what I think. So I think when it comes to a situation like that, first of all, no, option number one is just don't say it. And option number two is like to ask them about it. Like, at least for me, like, I'm always down for education. I'm always down to talk about it, to answer questions from people, all kinds of stuff like that. But to just make a comment like that and just assume that, like, I'm just gonna, like, be like, oh, haha, that's funny. It's not, like, don't do that. Just don't. So the next thing that happened, is I was working on this shift, and there was a guy, he's an older guy, he works at the school. I don't even know what his job is. His name is Ralph, so shout out to you, Ralph. You're a really cool guy. I really like you. But Ralph did some stuff, but poo, it wasn't like mean. Like it wasn't mean. It was just like stuff that I just want to like, I wanted to say to him like, can you stop talking about this? But like, it's hard in the moment. But anyway, so Ralph, I hope Ralph isn't watching. Oh, I got a text. But poo. Aw, my mom just texted me. She said she was listening to one of my songs and she realized once again that I'm super amazing. So if y'all want to listen to my music, links to my website are in the description. Anyway, so Ralph, Ralph came in, and I was having that tick, and he, I guess, butt poo in some Indian dialect language. Sorry if that was like, I don't know a lot about different Indian languages and that kind of stuff, but apparently it is a like butt poo is a term that a lot of people use for like father, or like an endearing term for someone who's like a father figure in your life. I didn't know that. That tick just showed up. Like butt poo, there she is. I didn't know that. And so I'm like, oh, that's kind of funny. And so then we started talking about it. I was explaining kind of how it feels. We had a really nice conversation about, you know, Tourette's, and I kind of was explaining some stuff. We got into how much music helps, which is a whole other video, but it was a really nice conversation, and I was like, yeah, Ralph. And then I saw him the next day, and he sees me, he goes, Maya, right? But poo. And I'm like, Ralph. What Ralph did there was, he saw my face, and the first thing he thought was, that's the girl with Tourette's. Now, it's okay, because the conversation we had the day before had been about Tourette's. But I just don't like the way that he brought it up as the first thing when he saw me the next time. Like, but it just kind of makes me feel like that's the only thing you think, the only thing you know about me or care about me is that I have tics. And it's like just, I don't, again, it's this idea of like bringing it back to the person's mind, like mentioning it again, and like it makes us feel self-conscious because it's like, wow, it must really be bad, which I guess it is. But just to all those people out there who do not have Tourette's, and if you ever run into someone who does, but poo, which you may not, just don't see them and say, hi Maya, and then say their tick. Like, no. Another thing is, so another kid in one of my classes, you know, people don't know what to say, so when you tell them you have Tourette's, they're like, always like, oh, that's cool, which, I don't know, I think, that one's not really a bad one. I just think people don't know what to say, so they say that's cool. You don't have to tell someone that their neurological condition is cool, first of all, like, it's not, really. This kid kept on saying my tick back after I said it, and like he was trying, like I would go but boo, and he would go but boo, and I was like, I'm like, no, like, don't do that, just don't, please. It makes us feel like we have to keep it in, like it's bothering you, like you're noticing it, and even if you aren't noticing it, like, I don't want to know. Like, I mean, it's hard to explain, but like, it just makes me feel self-conscious when you're repeating it. And it's kind of this feeling of like, now you're thinking about it, now you want to do it more. And now your brain's like, has it in there, so you have to do your tics more. And then you're thinking, oh, well, they're annoying him or he's noticing them so much, so you don't want to do them, and then you're holding them in, and then it's like, then they come out more. It's a horrible feeling, so just don't repeat people's tics and laugh. It's not, he said it was cool, he said it was cute, it was a cute tic, whatever, but it drives my brain crazy, and I'm sure a lot of other people with Tourette's also, it drives them crazy, so please don't do that either. Oh yeah, also, so at music school, people hear that and they think that I'm like beatboxing or like really into it, so they'll be like, oh, you know, you should sample that, like you should use a beat for that, like you should make that in a beat. Like, no, I'm not making a song of my Tourette's, like, tics into a song. Like, I mean, maybe someone else might do that, but like, no, I'm not doing that. But anyway, so I'm like at the computer, like behind the desk yesterday, and this girl comes in and is like, are you okay? Like, do you need help? And I was like, no, I'm just typing. She was like, oh, because you kept on making noises, like, so I thought that you needed help or something. And I'm like, no, I'm good, I have Tourette's, so sometimes I have tics. Like, that's my thing. I say that to people that don't know me. Like, I had never met this girl before. And she just starts cackling. Just like in this annoying laugh. And I'm just like, what's funny about that? Like, I didn't know what to say, so I just kind of like was like, mm-hmm. And so I think that's another lesson, is that it's not funny. Like, it's not. Like, it's annoying to the people that have it more than it is to you, first of all, but also it's like not funny. So I don't think that any sane person in their right mind, but it's that situation of like, people who don't know what to do, they don't know what to say, and it's awkward to them. It's not awkward. Like, this is just a thing that I have, and just, I think the best thing to do is like ask about it, or just be like, okay, and just accept it, and just you don't have to make it this big thing. And so that's the lesson of this video. But so yeah, my tics have been worse, but my anxiety, depression, ADD actually a lot, has been a lot better. So that's good. But I just wanted to kind of tell that story, because sometimes you just gotta get it out, like, because I don't know, education. But yeah, so hopefully that video was interesting. I'm sure that a lot of people with tics are watching this, and I love you guys. You're awesome. Comment below if you have channels or anything like that. And basically that's the video. So, but yeah, I'm thinking of doing like a day in my life sort of thing, because I'm in college. Yay! So if you are all interested in that, or if you want more Tourette's videos, let me know in the comments. You all can find my website and my social media description in the description. So I love you guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.